From BS and Beer Media, it's Top of the Bleachers with Jason and Tucker.
Handoff, Smith coming right, trying to outrun the coverage, makes a cut, gets it. Oh, he's still going. Oh, he's going to score. He's got the ball.
Let's see what the guys are talking about today.
Yo. Welcome in Top of the Bleachers, round 2 reaction. What's up, dude? Not a crazy day again. But we did have one. We did have one buzzer beater finally.
Yeah, there was finally a buzzer beater. I think the kid walked, but
That's what everybody's saying.
But at the same time, they had on Gene Steratore on the panel, and they were asking him. Chuck was saying he got a whole bunch of texts. Was like, "That was a walk. That was a walk." And Gene Steratore says that the counts don't step until you have both hands on the ball. So when he takes his first step, the ball's like right here. And on his second step is when he gets firm grip on the ball.
What?
And then his steps start. And then he made the comment that if he bobbled the ball all the way to the basket, he could walk all the way to the basket. Have you ever heard this before in your life?
No.
Travis a buddy of mine was over watching the games with me, and he was like, "Man, they're never going to come out and say they made a mistake. It's always they're always going to protect the league and all this." And I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right."
Yeah, that's I didn't hear that.
Now, I do think that it's unfair to watch it from 5 different angles in slow motion and then yell, "Hey, that's a walk," when nobody thought it was a walk when he originally did it. But after you go back and watch it, it's a walk. Well, yeah, but nobody caught it in real time. And that's where these reviews at the end of ball games, we got to stop this. We have got to stop this. Just go with the call on the floor and move on with your life. It just it drives me crazy, man. That last ball game tonight, Arizona and Oregon, the last 40 seconds of the ball game took 20 minutes because they had to go over to the monitor so many times. It's like, just come on, guys, move on. Let's go.
Yeah. I understand your point of view. I understand wanting to get it right too, but they're taking too long.
But a lot of the plays, like even that walking play, that's a non-reviewable play. So what's the point?
No, I mean like the one where the ball got tipped out of bounds.
But
I mean that was close.
Even in those situations, like 80% of the time, at least 80% of the time, the ref made the right call. And the call stands.
You think it's that much?
I do think it's that much. Yeah,
that sounds pretty high to me.
They hardly ever overturn a call, man.
I mean, if it's a close call that needs to be reviewed, I think they get them wrong sometimes.
Sometimes, but the majority of the time they get it right. And we just need to go with the call. We lived with it for 40 freaking years. We can go back to it, people.
You're so old. I swear to God. Don't change anything. I swear.
It's just ridiculous, man. All it is a chance for them to play another commercial break. That's all it is.
It is. They need to have some kind of timer on it or something.
And why do you
or something?
Why do you even give coaches timeouts when you're going to take so many TV timeouts and you're going to go review so much? Because every time you do that, they get an extra timeout.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, man. It ruins the flow of the game. I know you want to get the call right, and I got no problem going to the monitor once, but when you got to go to it like 3 times in a row, you're a bad.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't have some kind of rules to it, like challenges, or you only get so many, or it charges you a timeout or something.
Yeah, they got to do something, dude.
They
They
can't
gotta
just be like, yeah, let's review everything. It's 20 reviews.
Yeah, everything under 2 minutes they can stop and review. So after every play, every player on the floor, can we move on, please?
Oh, well, let's see. Let's start. I don't even know where to start here. This is all my brackets all over
You
the
want to
place.
start somewhere? Let's start with Woo Pig Damn Suey. That's where we need to go.
That is true. How about that? How about them hogs?
Only one double-digit seed left in the tourney. Guess who it is? It's the Razor freaking Backs. That's who
I
it
know.
is, man.
I know. There's some argument whether or not we get to be Cinderella.
Why is there an argument whether we get to be a Cinderella?
Well, because I saw a post earlier where this guy was saying there's no mid majors in the tournament left.
Yeah.
So there's no Cinderellas.
Okay. All right. I say if you're a 9 seed or higher, you're a Cinderella. That's kind of how I look at it.
I figure if you got double digits, I mean, come on. Or if you're the last one, the highest seed left, like say you were the 8 seed and everybody else was 1s and 2s. I mean, there's something, or whatever.
I think it has to be 9 or higher because, like, I just feel like if you're an 8 seed, you're kind of expected to do well. If you're an 8 or above, you're expected to do well. If you're a 9 or below, I think you're a Cinderella.
Yeah.
And also, I believe it factors into how long it's been since your team's been good. So it's been it was 1994 last time we won our championship.
No, they can't. They don't count that. We've been like 4 Sweet 16s in the last 5 years or something like that. We don't get that. We don't get that one.
I don't care. I don't care if they count us as a Cinderella or not. I don't give a crap.
I think we do. I think we should be. Anyway, about the game. I mean, what a rock fight. Holy mackerel.
Was a rock fight, and we dominated the paint as far as scoring. We didn't deserve to win the ball game. I think they had 26 offensive rebounds.
28 or something like that.
We ended up really doing well in the second half. The first 10 minutes of the second half of not turning the ball over, and that really helped us out a lot. We had way too many turnovers in the first half. Boogie came up big for us, hitting a big 3, getting a big steal.
Stealing.
Dude, Carter Knox, great game. That defensive play where he had like 3 blocks in a row, that was freaking awesome.
Dude, Knox and Billy both, man. They both played.
They
were our leading scorers.
Billy played his normal game. Where he comes in and he lights the world on fire, and then he throws the ball away 3 times and goes and sits on the bench for a little while.
Oh man, he had 16 and 9, and Carter had 15 and 6. And they're both the leading scorers.
I'm not saying he didn't play well. I'm just saying he just has these moments where he gets to go in faster than everybody on the court.
Only time he bothered me is when he shot the 3. I was like,
he's bound to hit one every once in a while.
One a year.
Well, he's only taken like 10. It's not like he's just going out there jumping up 20 a game or something.
No, but still, we're in a big game here. Let's shot select.
And if he hits it, you lose your mind and freaking like, way to go, Billy.
Yeah, well.
But we only went 2 for 19 from the 3-point line, and even Cal said afterwards. He said if we go 2 for 19, he said we're not going to go very much. Further.
Well, it's a good thing St. John sucks worse than us then, because they went 2 for 22. So
I think St. John. Okay, I believe after watching St. John's in the first round matchup, and I can't even remember who it was, but Warford. I watched the first half of that, and then I fell asleep. And I remember thinking, I think we match up better with these guys than people are giving us credit for. Like, there was nothing in that Warford game where I was like, wow, these guys are just really, we don't stand a chance against these guys or whatever. And so going into the going into the game, I felt confident that we could stay with them. I didn't know if we could win or not, but I thought we could stay with them.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, they beat Omaha by 30.
and I feel like, yeah, but it was Omaha. We would have beat
I
Omaha.
know.
by 30.
And they shot like they don't shoot like that normally. They hit like 13 or 14 threes. As soon
Well,
as I saw that, I was like, they're not hitting that many against us. They're
well,
not
it's just like Cal said, at half, he was
not
talking
happening.
about teams that press don't like to be pressed, and teams that pressure don't like to be pressured. He's
Yeah.
like, maybe teams that play defense don't like to have defense played against them.
And he was right.
He was right. And our defense was very good that ball game.
We pressured them just like they pressured us the whole game. So
Brazil
comfortable.
Brazil had a couple of timely dunks.
Yeah, I'm looking at the box score here. There's let's see who else. Let's see Brazil. What'd he do? He went 8 for 8 and 8. Adu went 7 and 7. Janelle had 13. I thought he kind of disappeared a little bit, but he was still always shows up. Like,
well, he exerts a lot of effort on defense.
and DJ didn't shoot very well at all.
DJ didn't shoot.
Those
DJ,
2 layups he had though were like perfect timing. You know,
Yeah.
like we needed them.
Yeah, DJ got in and made a couple of timely baskets. We played as a team. We played as one heartbeat, man. We played as one heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, we got to play Texas Tech because they beat.
Okay.
Drake.
So let me tell you what pissed me off. Okay, other than the referees. Okay.
What are you talking about? The Drake game?
No, I'm talking about the Arkansas.
St. John's.
Yeah. Well, here's what pissed me off about this. Okay.
Mhm.
And I'm not even talking about the refs, and I'm not talking about anything that happened in the game. Arkansas beats the number 2 seed. Okay.
Mhm.
And then we're waiting to see who wins between Texas Tech and Drake. Okay. Texas Tech just barely beats Drake. I mean, the score did not reflect how close that ball game was, the whole ball game. All right.
Yeah.
And then I watched Jay, what's his name, used to coach Villanova. I watched him and Candace Parker. Yeah, him and Candace Parker and the other idiot over there, Seth, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Davis.
I watched all 3 of them say, well, I got Texas Tech in the next round. Arkansas is not beating Texas Tech. We just beat the 2 seed who you said we couldn't beat and that we didn't match up with. I just watched Texas Tech play. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I think we match up well with Texas Tech, and I think we can beat Texas Tech.
Yeah, the only thing inside it depends the foul trouble thing again, man. If Adu can stay out of foul trouble because they have an inside dude that's good, Toppin is good, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That dude is good. So if we can slow him down and not let him have 20 points and 20 rebounds.
Well, we shut down the Big East Player of the Year for, I think he had 8 points, and the coach wouldn't even let him back in the ball game at the end of the game.
What was all that about anyway? What was that all about?
I don't know. They asked Patino about it after the game, and he just kept saying, the reason. He was 3 of 17 or something like that. I guess because he wasn't shooting well, he got put on the bench or whatever. I think there was something else.
It had to be something else.
I think there was something else going on there.
Yeah. Well, Texas Tech looked pretty good, and then they showed the time came out. We play them at 9:00.
Sweet.
9:00 at night on Thursday night.
I tell you,
so
the other reason why I think that we have a pretty good chance against Texas Tech, and it's just rumored right now, but there is a chance that we could get Thero back. If we get Thero back, then it's I don't know how far this team can go. Even if he only comes in and plays 10 minutes, 12 minutes, something like that, another body, another person to throw in rotation, another person that knows the offense. I really like where we're headed right now. I really do.
Well, we'll see, man. Texas Tech's pretty good. And
Oh, come
The
on.
rest of this bracket too, man.
they're a-
Florida and Maryland both moved ahead. Did you watch the Florida UConn game? Did you see any of that one?
I did see, and can I just say,
That was a good game.
can we just throw Dan Hurley out of sports completely?
Yeah, that guy is annoying, ain't he?
Not just annoying. Did you see the clip of him yelling at the Baylor players when he left? I hope they don't screw you, except he didn't use the word screw.
Yeah.
I hope they don't screw you like they just. Can you just take your licks and go to the locker room and be a man?
I know.
Like,
I know,
you-
man. That dude's the biggest crybaby.
You are the most wonderful winner in the world, but man, you are a terrible loser.
He's a horrible winner too. I mean, he's an asshole. I mean,
I don't understand why.
I wouldn't play for that dude. I wouldn't play for him.
I don't understand how he stays in ball games. Like, I would eject him so fast if I was a ref. I mean, you wouldn't make it through halfway through the first half talking to me like that.
I know, right?
Your ass would be in the locker room. And the next
Florida
time I
shut him
ref,
up.
the next time I ref the UConn game, I bet you he would keep his mouth shut talking to me.
Well, Florida shut him up and put him in tears, had him all crying after the game. So
yeah,
but old Clayton, man, that dude, holy mackerel, that dude's good.
I was talking about that with Orange Ham, and I was like, man, you didn't used to see this. Like this part where you didn't ever see. You always saw, like, you would see the kids crying on the court, but then they would always go to the team celebrating and all that. They did a whole montage of nothing but teams boo-hooing, oh, I can't believe this is my last time to put on a Yale uniform. And you got
usually see him crying at the podium. I mean, you usually see him there. That's it, though. You don't go.
But a montage with some soft music playing behind it. And
they probably do. Actually, I don't know.
You're supposed to be jerking tears out of my face. I mean, give me a break. I'm not going to feel bad for a kid that played 4 years at Yale and has an Ivy League education and is going to walk into $100,000 job. I'm sorry. I don't feel bad for that kid.
I think that's a bad way of looking at it. I mean, he's worked hard at the basketball. That's his dream right now, and they didn't go like he planned, and it's disappointing and it hurts.
He got to live his dream.
So why are you mad at him for it, though?
I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at the media for putting the crap on my TV and watching this kid boo-hoo all over the place, man.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't know. I think they're trying to
part of the game, I guess. I don't know.
They're trying to draw emotion out of the audience. All right. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get an emotional reaction. It's like the stories that they tell about the kids, Every kid that they talk about's got some tragedy that he's overcome to get to this moment or something like that. I don't need that to watch a basketball game. Like I don't need to. I'm just there for the sports. I don't need to know their personal history. And I'm not saying there are people that probably love that. There are probably people, they're probably women, but they probably love those parts of the game and hearing about their personal stories and stuff like that. It's like every time they do this thing now where every time a star hits a bucket, they go and find their family in the stands and put the camera on their family. It's like, and then when they're losing and the kids crying in tears, they got to show mama crying in the stands. And it's like, really? Whatever. If that's what people are entertained with, that's fine. I just don't find any entertainment in it. I find entertainment in buzzer beaters and, good plays. That's where I find it.
All right. Well, out of the West now, then we got Florida, Maryland, Texas Tech, and Arkansas. There's your 4 out of the West for games. And I actually had all 4 of those picks. So
I had Florida and Texas Tech picked. I had Florida going up against Memphis. Way to go, Memphis. Way to let me down again, Penny Hardaway. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I actually had St. John's picked over us because I had believed that these people knew what they were talking about when they talked about basketball, but apparently they don't.
That's the best guess anyway, right? So
yeah.
and
But I
then
mean, is it really a best guess when you just go with a Power Four school and I mean, on paper, St. John's probably should have beat us. I mean, they're one of the best defensive teams but the commentator kept saying during the game, they've never faced this kind of size in the Big East and all this. And I'm like, well, really? Because we're not really one of the like biggest teams in the SEC. We see these size teams all the time.
I don't know. I think we're pretty long, man. Big Z,
We are.
Adu, and
We are pretty long, but
still,
we face a lot of teams in the SEC that are,
I feel like we're bigger than everybody.
really.
I feel that way. Yeah, I mean, the
I
other teams have one big dude,
Yeah.
right? One big guy. But we got like three.
I always feel like the other team. Well, we might be taller than them, but I feel like we're just a bunch of skinny guys. Like every time I see another team, I'm like, man, that guy's a mountain. He's big.
They do have some bruisers on some other teams. We need some of those. Do you see the Lebanese, or I think it's Lebanese, the recruit coming in next year?
Yeah. He's like a 20-year-old. He's been playing professional ball and stuff. Yeah.
I think I saw he was 230. That's pretty thick.
Well, I mean, Carter Knox is pretty thick.
Yeah, I think
but
he's 220 or something.
But he's always been skinny. Z looks like I could push him around.
Z needs some weight for sure.
Even as big as Adu is, I still feel like he could bulk up a little bit.
Man, that dude, he's playing his tail off right now.
He's playing really good for us, man. And that grin that he's got just makes me laugh, man. He'll get away with something or get caught doing something, and he'll just kind of grin.
All right, well, let's predict the West then. So, who's moving on, Florida or Maryland?
I've got Florida moving on.
I have Florida moving on as well. Texas Tech and Arkansas.
I had St. John's moving on, but now they're out of it. And I really think after beating St. John's, I mean, we just beat the 2 seed. We should be able to beat the 3 seed, right? You just beat the 2.
When you beat the 2 seed, you become the 2 seed.
That's what Orange Ham was saying, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
So now we're the 2. So now,
well, we're definitely not a Cinderella if we're a 2 seed.
Well, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean, though.
But yeah, I think Arkansas can win this game.
I think so too.
I would much rather Arkansas, win it than Texas Tech.
Yeah.
But my bracket's busted anyway, all the way until the Final Four, because I got Florida facing St. John's and Florida winning. So I really don't care who moves on from this next round because I'm going to be wrong no matter what. So I'm going to take Arkansas.
Okay. All right. Then let's look at the South. Up there, we had let's see, who was it?
Auburn and Michigan move on.
Yeah, Auburn beats Creighton, right?
Yeah. So you've got a setup, and then at the bottom you got Ole Miss and Michigan State move on. So Ole Miss beats Iowa State, and New Mexico Michigan State was a good ball game.
It was a good game.
That was a
good game. Ole Miss just beat the dog crap out of Iowa State.
Yeah.
They beat them pretty bad.
Yeah, but you've got a potential here. Okay.
Michigan game. You came down to a last second shot too.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
But you've got the potential here now of in the Elite Eight, Michigan facing Michigan State.
Yeah, that'd be the 3rd time this year.
Or Ole Miss versus Auburn.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think, or what my bracket says here, I think it's going to be Auburn against Michigan State.
I have Auburn and Ole Miss moving on this round. I'm not that impressed with Michigan State, and I know they've won a lot of games, and they didn't win the Big Ten tournament. They won a season or whatever, but they're good.
It's the Tom Izzo factor.
Yeah, I know.
The guy every year he does more with less than what everybody else has.
Yeah, but has he already done more?
Yeah, I think he has.
You know what I mean?
I think he
Well, Ole
has.
Miss is pretty good, dude. I don't know. I think Ole Miss can take that one.
I got no problem with that.
Yeah, Auburn, Ole Miss, face off in the Elite Eight. Yeah, that's what I got. We'll see. Could end up being Michigan State. You're right. I would not be surprised if Michigan beats Auburn. I mean, Michigan's pretty good, dude. Pretty good. All right, what's about the Midwest? This is my bracket that's all kind of jacked up a little bit.
Well, okay, Houston played the Zags.
Yeah.
Khalif battle. Oh, I felt bad for him after the game, but
Yeah.
That's the way the ball bounces.
Purdue beat McNeese easily.
Yeah.
But I mean, Will Wade's already on his way to North Carolina State as the head coach, so it was kind of a weird situation anyway. Like he took that job and then coached the game. Isn't that weird?
I don't know. Is it? Because I mean, you got kids that before the tournament's over are telling you they're going into the transfer portal. So what's the difference between a kid doing it and a coach doing it?
I don't know. Because are the kids going into the transfer portal and playing?
What do you mean? Yeah, some of them have announced that after the tournament they're getting into the transfer portal.
They're playing right now.
Yeah, and they're still in the tournament. That's what I'm. Oh, I don't know. I've seen a couple throw it up on X.
I haven't seen anybody like that. Everybody's been like teams that have like already out.
I don't know, man. I don't think it's any big deal. I mean, coaches move on all the time. If you're a player,
just seems weird. I don't know. You're the head coach of somewhere else now. Why are you coaching here? Don't take that job till this season's over, I guess I feel like. Or if you do, then you're out. Leave.
I guess, but
ain't your job no more. You took another one.
Okay, so let's say Calipari, all right, is offered the job at, I don't know, UCLA. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he wants to go to UCLA. We've made the tournament. Okay. UCLA comes to him and says, listen, you either take the job now or we're going to offer it to somebody else. Okay.
Yeah.
So Cal really wants to go to UCLA and he takes the job. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now you want Keith Smart or one of the assistants to coach the Hogs through the tournament that they qualified for?
I don't want no traitors staying at my place.
You look at that as a traitor?
I mean, I guess. I mean, that's just weird. That's just weird. If you don't want to be here, then don't be here. I guess how I feel about it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think in McNeese's
situation, either all in or you're all out. You know what I mean? Ain't no.
Well, I think a Will Wade situation and McNeese's situation. I mean, it's not like they make the tournament every year. It's not like they can just say, okay, well, see you later and throw the assistant coach in there. I mean,
yeah, it's just weird, I guess.
I wouldn't hire Will Wade to begin with. Didn't he get fired from LSU for doing inappropriate things?
Paying players.
Oh, well, you're allowed to do that now.
I know, but he got, he's got all these sanctions against him. That's why nobody wants to hire him. Like he couldn't play in the tourney or something for 2 or 3 years, and then there's still some kind of recruiting stuff, something against him.
Even though we're paying players now,
I think so. Yeah, because he's been, it's been.
Well, here's what I know about
whatever.
Here's what I know about a cheater. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They'll find a way to cheat. So even though we're paying players now, Will Wade will probably still find a way to cheat.
You probably don't want to hear this, but he signed like a 5 or 6 year deal. Okay. That's how long I want Coach Cal to coach. Okay.
5 or 6 years.
5 or 6 years, then he retires, and Will Wade can come over.
I don't want Will Wade.
I do.
I don't want Will Wade.
He's smart.
Well, that's fine. He's smart. So is Bobby Petrino.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. They lost, so who cares? Purdue won.
Yeah, where did he get the contract at? Anyway, where's he going?
NC State.
Oh, so it's not like he's going anywhere good. He's going to the ACC.
Yeah, ACC. Yeah, they'll probably dominate.
You think?
Well, besides Duke, nobody's gonna beat them because they get all the best players.
What about North Carolina?
Yeah, they suck. They can't beat nobody.
Okay. All
They
right.
can't beat anybody that's good anyway.
This year, you think they'll be like that next year and the year after? You think North Carolina can't recruit or can't?
They
get
got a.
players?
They do have a good. They have one good kid coming in. He's really good, actually. I don't know. See what the portal does. The portal opens tomorrow.
I don't think like NC State hasn't been relevant since what, Jim Valvano?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, I don't think Will Wade's going to turn that program around.
I think he will.
I'll eat my words if it happens, but
All right.
I don't think he'll do it.
I bet he will in the ACC. Come on. He could take my niece and go to the ACC and win.
Well, the SEC has already set the bar about how many teams get in. The ACC is only going to get in 2 teams, maybe 3.
Well, they only got one left.
Yeah.
So we'll get to them in a minute. Anyway, Houston going to play Purdue.
Yeah.
In the top bracket.
Yep.
My bracket's all busted up there. I had Clemson anyway, so I kind of.
I did.
Anyway.
I did too. Way to let us down, Clemson.
I know, right? ACC. See, he already beat an ACC team with a mid-major team. See, easy. And Clemson was like second or third in the league. Anyway, on the bottom bracket. Oh my gosh, bro! I had to watch freaking Kentucky. Illinois play like poo-poo.
Dog crap, yeah.
Come on, man. You can't even show up and beat this stinky team. Come on.
I don't know, but Kentucky's run is over after this next round. They got to face Tennessee.
Freaking why? They beat them twice already.
Won't. That's Kentucky for you. They won't beat them this time. When it counts,
they probably will. Illinois. What? Show up at Thanksgiving, played like freaking world champion, going to win the national championship on Thanksgiving Day. Hello, hit threes all over the place. Hit 6 threes, Mr. EBC.
Well, that's the way
today.
That's the way they played against Xavier too. They played lights out against Xavier, and then they turn around and play like crap against KU.
What a disappointment.
I guess.
So, needless to say, they lost today.
I had Kentucky losing in the first round to Troy. I've had 2 teams break my heart, Troy and Illinois.
And Tennessee beat up on UCLA. I mean, that wasn't really ever close. It wasn't like I don't think it was a blowout, but it wasn't close. So that sets up Tennessee and Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue and Houston. Who you said? So you picking Tennessee to win that one? I had Tennessee over Illinois, so I'm taking Tennessee.
I got Tennessee and Houston meeting each other.
I do too. Tennessee and Houston. All right. In the East, what a joke of a bracket, dude.
Yeah, Duke just gets a cakewalk all the way through.
What a joke, bro. Anyway, Duke's going to play Arizona. Arizona just beat Oregon. That was a pretty close game there.
Yeah, barely beat Oregon.
Duke beat the brakes off of Baylor. BYU beat Wisconsin. And Bama beat St. Mary's.
So I find it interesting. That, okay, so you got 7 teams out of the SEC that make the Sweet 16. It's a record, by the way. 43% of the 16 in the Sweet 16 are SEC teams. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Auburn, Michigan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss, Michigan State, BYU, Alabama, Texas Tech, Arkansas, Florida, Maryland, and then KU is going to play Tennessee. Okay. Duke is going to face Arizona, and Houston gets Purdue. Okay. Houston and Duke both don't even have to look at an SEC team until at least the Elite Eight.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, why don't you just? I think.
Well, they could have played. Duke could have played Mississippi State if they didn't suck.
I think the AD of North Carolina and the AD of Duke got together at the selection committee thing, and they were like, "Listen, I'll vote to get North Carolina in if you make sure we get put in a bracket with no SEC teams."
No kidding, bro. The worst ones too: Mississippi State, Vanderbilt,
Mm-hmm.
and Alabama.
Yeah,
They're
they
pretty
might. They'll end up having. That'll be their first test is when they got to face Alabama.
Yeah, actually, I got BYU moving on. So,
So you got BYU beating Alabama.
I got BYU upsetting Alabama. I do.
Well,
I sure do.
Good luck with that one.
I do.
Uh,
And then Duke beating Arizona.
So SEC gets in 14 teams. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You got 5 teams that got in with losing records in conference. Out of those 5 teams that had losing records, only one of them's left.
We could end up with 6 in the Elite Eight.
So my question is,
if I'm looking at this right.
All right, 4 of the 5 teams.
4 of the 5 teams.
4 of the 5 teams had. All right, there were 5 teams that had losing records in conference that made the tournament.
Okay.
Okay. Out of those 5 teams, only one of them's left, Arkansas.
Okay.
So part of me says, okay, they let way too many SEC teams in. Okay. But then part of me like, well, if they didn't let those teams in, Arkansas wouldn't have got in.
Yeah. This is true.
But I think it's one of the reasons why we haven't seen the Cinderella, the buzzer beaters, the excitement that we usually get from the first couple of rounds of the tournament is because we're looking at all Power 4 schools, Power 5 schools, man. I mean, there's not a lot of mid-majors in there. And I think the mid-majors pretty much are just going to become farm teams for the Big 4.
They are, because they can't compete with them nil-wise, man. I mean, that's you're looking at the nil. These are the nil leaders.
So why not, if you're a mid-major, if you're in one of these conferences where they don't give you any respect, why don't you take your ball and go somewhere else and have your own tournament? I don't understand why they keep wanting into the NCAA tournament when they get no damn respect. They do everything they can not to put them into the tournament. Why don't y'all just go have your own tournament and throw the middle finger up at the NCAA?
Yeah. I agree. What's up, man? What's up, Lee?
What up, Lee? What are you doing up this time?
Is this Coach Lee? I don't know. I think it's Coach Lee. I was everybody, I think, there. So yeah, Sweet 16, bro.
Sweet 16 with a possibility, a true possibility at getting to an Elite 8. I honestly believe, and I said this after the Kentucky game, I said, we play like that, we win a national championship. And we still haven't played like that in the tournament yet. We still haven't played our best game in the tournament.
Let's go look up Texas Tech here a little bit and see.
Oh man, they're gonna beat us. Just ask Jay Will and the Candace Parker.
I don't care what they think. I said let's look them up. We find where's teams. Here we go. Teams. What are they in? They're in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Okay. 12 Texas Tech.
Which is another reason why I think we can beat them.
All right, here we go. I mean, they haven't played anybody yet either. They beat UNC Wilmington and Drake.
I know. I'm trying. That's what I've been trying to say.
But they're good, dude. They are good.
So was St. John's.
I think they're better than St. John's, to be honest with you.
Well, then why were they the 3 and St. John's the 2? Like
Because of their record and who they played.
We got to get this seeding thing figured out, man. These guys who seed don't know crap.
Let's see here.
Even the commentator during the Arkansas game said, if this is a 10 seed, I'm a such and such. I was like, well.
Here's some of their losses. I'll give you some big losses or big wins, okay?
Okay.
They lost to St. Joseph's.
Isn't that a high school here in Conway?
No. That's Toppin had 18 rebounds though, just for regular. They beat Syracuse. They beat DePaul. Okay. They lost to Texas A&M by just 5 points.
Okay.
Let's see here. They beat BYU, who's in the Sweet 16. They lost to Iowa State in overtime by 1 point. They beat Arizona by 16. Yikes. They beat Houston in overtime.
Wow.
They beat Baylor. Lost to Arizona. Lost to TCU. Lost to Houston. Beat Kansas. Beat Baylor. Lost to Arizona. So, yeah. They got some good wins in there. Toppin is like the leader, and we're hearing rebounds. It's like Toppin. 13, 15, 12, 11, 8, 10, 14, 11, 10. We got to keep that dude off the boards, man. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. I got a little bit of an echo.
I don't think so. How would you rate the first 2 rounds?
How would I what?
How would you rate the first 2 rounds?
I mean, there was some good games and some quality games, but there wasn't that like excitement, buzzer beaters. There wasn't a lot of really close games. It didn't seem like there was a couple, but most of the games were, 10 to plus points.
And see, I think that falls back on the seeding again. I don't think they're seeding the teams right, because you should look at matchups and you should look at stuff like that, because you want to give the best games that you can. And I don't feel like we got that in the first round. We got a lot of games that were no fun to watch. They were either a blowout or something like that. We did have not even a handful. We had like 3 or 4 really good close games. Had one buzzer beater. I'm giving the first round of the 2025. I'm giving it a C plus.
I feel like this is the first real tourney where Neil makes a big impact.
Sure. Yeah.
I think
March Madness might have changed forever when Neil came in.
It did, because it's gonna be like this. It's gonna be all the teams that have money, and that's not gonna be mid majors.
Yeah.
So,
you know what mid majors should do? They should work in some sort of thing where they could make. If I'm gonna be a farm club for you, if you're gonna treat me like a farm team and you're gonna come in and poach my players, you should have to give a percentage to the university that you're poaching the player from.
Yeah. Well, they don't. They go into the transfer portal, and
it's like
they didn't poach them.
Oh, they're poaching, dude. They're talking to them long before they go into that transfer portal.
I know. Why else would they come out with the kid comes out and says, "I'm in the transfer portal." Blah blah blah. with a no contact tag. What?
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't want to be? I thought you were going into the portal to be recruited by other teams.
No, I've already been recruited by the team I'm going to. Thank you very much.
But you don't want to be contacted. What?
I would even say that there are probably some places that are probably like a year in advance. Like, listen,
I'm sure
we really want you to come play at Alabama, but we need you to go play at, DePaul for a year before you come to us, or something like that.
I've been hitting the recruiting stuff, or not the recruiting, but the transfer stuff. I've been looking at that quite a bit today, and there's going to be so many people in the portal and stuff. Even Cal said after the game, he was like, "Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to sit down on Monday and talk to everybody and see who wants to come back and who doesn't." And I'm like, what the freak?
And you got to talk about it before the tournament's over.
I know that's crazy. This is crazy.
They do the same thing in football. That's why we were complaining the bowl games suck.
It's just crazy.
It's like you're not helping the game any by opening the transfer portal early.
No. Anyway, all right, man. Well, let's see if they have the other games. I don't know if they have the times on here or not yet, but let's see.
They should have everything set by now.
Let's see.
I'm watching a woman with no legs climb Mount Everest.
All right, so Thursday. So they're playing. I thought this was kind of strange too. I thought they would play all day and show every game in its entirety. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But they're not. They're starting at like 6:00, and then there's one at 6 and one at 6:30, and then one at 8:30, and then one at 9. So it's like there'll be two going on at the same time. So the first game is BYU and Alabama. That's the first game up, and then 30 minutes later, Maryland and Florida starts, and then Arizona and Duke, and Arkansas, Texas Tech in the late game. And this is what another thing I saw that was weird is that you'll notice that BYU, who's played on, they have to play on a Thursday and Saturday. They moved them around so they would play on Thursday and Saturday because they're not allowed to play on Sundays. So that's the thing.
Okay.
And then Friday, you got Ole Miss, Michigan State, Kentucky, Tennessee, Michigan, Auburn, Purdue, Houston. That's the late game. Atlanta and Indianapolis.
Yeah, I also think it's interesting that they decided that the winners in Providence, New York, would play their next round in San Francisco, California.
I don't know. Ridiculous.
They're dumb. This is not handled as well as it could be. That's all I'm saying.
No.
It's still a good product. Don't get me wrong there. It's still fun to watch. There were some good games on. It's it's good to see. It's good to see the.
Chris, I didn't even know they had a second chance bracket. That's crazy. You can go fill out a bracket now. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Second chance bracket.
I need one where you start in like the final four.
Here it is. Here it is. Tournament challenge, second chance. Wow, that's pretty cool, actually.
So instead of $1 million, is it like 500,000 or something for the second chance?
I don't know. What's up, Barry? Thanks for joining us, man.
What'd you think of the first round or the second round, Barry? I guess the first and the second round. It's been going on since Thursday, hasn't it?
Yeah, I know. Seems like a lot of basketball.
Last 4 days, I've watched a lot of basketball.
I have, dude. My wife's been a real trooper, man.
Oh, Lace has been like, she like just goes to the bedroom, watches something in there. See, unless it's Arkansas, she ain't interested.
I know. I didn't even get a C. No, it was a week later, huh? Yeah, I didn't even make it to the tournament before Crystal's like, I'm out. I'm going upstairs. I'm gonna go look up here and look around. I'm gonna watch TV up here for a little while. That's how it started. I'm going up here to watch TV for a little while, and never came back.
You know why? You know why?
Too much sports on down here. That's why.
It's because the NCAA doesn't have Taylor Swift sitting in the stands. If they had Taylor Swift, they could pan too, man. They get everybody watching.
She wouldn't care about that. She's up there watching the new FBI director is the White House spokesperson. They'll tell us why. I don't know. I was like, I'm not watching this. I'm out of here. I don't know what she's watching. That or animals doing something.
I like animal shows. I watch animal shows.
That's all she watches. Basically, is like National Geographic type stuff.
Yeah, I always end up finding out something I didn't know. Something. Well, what? That's wild. I didn't know that. Like a hippo can run 30 miles an hour underwater. What? No way.
Prove it.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock that away for Jeopardy sometime.
Oh man. All right, dude. Anything else we got here?
One more thing about the St. John's game.
Okay.
I really wanted to win the St. John's game. I didn't really think we were going to pull it off. We did pull it off. We probably didn't deserve to win. They had a bunch of offensive rebounds, and we didn't hit any threes, but we won it. But somewhere in the second half, I realized how bad I wanted to beat St. John's when I see Spike Lee is all decked out in his St. John's stuff, rooting for St. John's. I was like, yeah, we've got to win this ball game.
Yeah. Beat the Yankees.
And I would have loved for one of the Arkansas players to do the Reggie Miller choke thing to him. But whatever.
Get him thrown out or something.
Did you see the elbow in the Colorado State game that did not get called?
I don't think so. Did you see the guy hit in the balls?
Yeah. There was a kid for Colorado State, their leading scorer. I can't, dude. There have been so many crazy names today and names I can't remember players to save my life. At one point, I was like, I should have my pen and paper so I could write some of these down. But
game 1 and 2, I had a notepad. And I was taking notes like a madman. And I was like, dude, there's no way I can do this for 32 games. No way. I think I got my notepad's over there.
Anyway, he threw an elbow and clocked this guy like in the ear. And I mean, it was a blatant, like threw an elbow, right? It did not get called. The cameras picked it up. The commentators talked about it. So much so that this is a new thing they're doing this year. Before they go in at half, they bring a player over to talk to the commentator or whatever. I thought that was kind of weird,
Yeah.
But they talk to him before he goes in the locker room, and they ask him about the elbow. And he's like, yeah, he said, I was just hustling, and I apologize to the guy. It was a total accident. Dude, I watched that in replay like 3 times. There was no accident. That kid probably should have been thrown out of the game. And they didn't even blow a whistle. So
I didn't see
that. Probably the same ref that didn't see the walk at the end of the New Mexico game. Or Maryland game.
Maryland, yeah.
Maryland. I didn't really think it was a walk. I didn't until I got on X and started looking around and saw people, oh, that was a clear travel, and I started watching it. I was like, that is a walk.
Dude, they don't call travels and they don't call charges anymore.
Dude, the travel, I watch guys slide their pivot foot. I watched the guy the other night switch his pivot foot, and the ref just standing there looking at him,
I know it.
And it really irritated me in our ball game, but I've seen it several times over the last couple of days. The guy at the top of the key is calling a foul on something that is happening in the lane with a ref standing right there. It's like,
Yeah.
that's not your area.
Yeah.
Call your area. You're responsible for this area over here. Quit calling stuff under the basket. That's not your call.
Yeah, Patino was yelling about that one time too.
I mean, I saw it several times. It's like, why
Yeah.
are you making the call? And
Yeah.
they've also gotten in this habit too, where like a kid goes up for a shot and the ref doesn't blow the whistle and it looks like a foul. And then the kid misses the shot and then he blows the whistle. It's like, well, so if I'd have made the shot, you wouldn't even have blown the whistle. But since I missed it, you blew the whistle.
And apparently you can jump up and body block them as long as you're straight up. As long as you're straight up.
It depends on.
You can jump up there and.
It depends on what the ref is doing.
It's like, what?
And I think a lot of these fouls that are initiated by the offensive player should be offensive fouls. You see them go in there and they're looking for contact. They're not even looking to shoot the basketball. They're just looking for contact. And I feel like if the offensive player is the one that it's initiating the contact, then how is it a foul on the defensive guy? What am I supposed to do? I'm just supposed to run out of his way and shoot a layup. So, I mean, Big Z in that Arkansas game, man, that dude, he couldn't even breathe on anybody. He get a foul call on him.
I know.
It was ridiculous.
I know, man. That game was poor.
That kid that they had, St. John's had, that was inside. I can't think of his name. Elkworth or something like that. Ellsworth or yeah. He was making me so mad because he wouldn't even try and shoot the ball. He grabbed the ball and throw it up in the air and flail all over the place and fall on the ground, and they call a foul. I was like, dude, he's not even trying to make the basket. He's just trying to get a call. That's all he's trying to do.
Dude, he was in there. The big guy was in there. He'd just be pushing and shoving and pushing and shoving, and then they'd call foul on us, pushing him back, and be like, "This guy, he freaking threw Billy like out of the lane. He like threw him down almost."
Well, we went to Big Z got back in with 4 fouls, and he goes. I thought he went straight up, which is what you're supposed to do. The guy goes up with the ball, punches him in the mouth, hits the layup, and they call a foul on Big Z. And Big Z's like, I got hit in the mouth. How is that a foul on me?
I know. I saw that too. I know, man. The refs are hopefully be better moving forward. Hopefully.
I'm telling you, I have really been amazed at the physical play in these games. Like some of these ball games, they're letting these guys beat the crap out of each other. Like, I feel like the college game is 10 times more physical than the NBA game is.
Yeah.
Like in the NBA game, you can't even breathe on somebody without it being a foul. And in college basketball, man, you could get mugged. Like guys,
screens now.
Man, they set some screens. They'll freaking throw you to the ground. They'll do everything, and you don't see that in the NBA.
No.
You used to back in the day, but you don't see it no more.
All right, man. Let's get out of here. I gotta go to bed. I gotta get up in a few hours.
I'm off tomorrow. I'm off, and I do need to do some yard work. You want to come over and help me do some yard work?
No, I did some of that this weekend. I'm done with that for a day or two, hopefully.
Well, I've been putting mine off. Like, it's too windy. Oh, it's too cold today. Well, basketball's on now. I can't do yard work now. Basketball's on.
Yeah, no, I had to get up extra early and get out there before it started so I can get something done. But yeah, I started like 6 o'clock in the while. I just wanted to pick up the sticks out of the yard because it'd been so windy, and then it had been all winter too. So there was so I just had a stick picking up day, and it took me a couple hours out there just picking up sticks and sweating and huffing and puffing, walking up and down that hill. But
you know what?
Yeah.
So what this sucks about getting older is I can do something like go out and weed eat or go out and pick up sticks or something like that in the yard. And the next day, like I get up out of my chair and my legs hurt, and I go, "What in the world did I do?" It feels like I like lifted weights for the day. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so out of shape.
I don't know. I got stairs that I go up and down at least 20 times a day. You think I'd be in great shape, but no, I'm not. All right, man. Well, enjoy your day off and a few days with no basketball, and I'll see you tomorrow at 4, right?
Dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've got like 4 days before basketball starts back up. What in the hell am I gonna do, man?
The portal is opening, bud. Time to watch the portal.
Portal's opening in the Hogs. Oh, we didn't even talk about the Hogs. It was a good day to be a Razorback fan. The Hogs end up sweeping the series against South Carolina. They looked really good. It was a good ball game today. It was 4-4 until the 8th inning. And I was telling Big, I stepped out on the back porch for like, I don't know, 15 minutes, walked back inside, and all of a sudden it's 11-4. I was like, well, I missed all the good stuff.
Yep, you did. You did.
So,
well, who do they play next? Play Tuesday or something?
yeah, they got a game in the middle of the week. Probably a 2-game series. Hold on, I'm waiting for my app to pop up. Come on, app.
I got a case of the yawns, bro.
We're gonna play
Missouri State.
The 25th is gonna be Missouri State, and then 28th we play a game against Vandy, which I think Vandy's pretty good this year. They're pretty good every year.
I saw we was off to the best start in history or something like that.
Dude, we're looking
first 25 games, I think it was.
Yeah. We're looking really good. We've got one loss in the SEC right now.
One loss period.
Yeah. But I've been watching the SEC. I don't think we're not going to keep that record. Like we're going to have some tough series. We might even lose a series or two. Last year, or it was either last year or the year before, Van Horn won every series that he played in the SEC.
Vanderbilt's good. We should smoke Missouri. Georgia. A&M's good. Florida's good.
Vols are good again.
Texas is good. LSU's good. Yeah. Tennessee's good.
I think Ole Miss is pretty good this year, too.
Yeah, we got some tough weekends coming up, hey.
I really like it so far. I mean, I know we're pretty early in the season. We just started conference play and everything, but so far I really like our arms in the pen. I love our bats, man. We have got a great rotation as far as offense goes. Yep. I think maybe the weakest part of our whole team is defense, which our defense is really good, but it's probably the weakest link in our game right now.
Yeah, we can talk more about it tomorrow, man.
No, he's wanting to get off, man.
I gotta go to bed, dude. I'm falling asleep on you right now. So I will catch you later. Peace out. Go Hogs.
Thanks for watching our show. Remember to subscribe for more shows on the network. Smash the like button, share, and comment.